Everyone from Ridgewood High had been talking about the 10-year reunion for months. Group chats buzzed, Instagram stories reminded everyone of the date, and the planning committee, mostly the same popular kids from senior year, had been working overtime to make the event the most unforgettable night ever. But for some people, the excitement had a darker tone. Their private chats told the real story. The so-called class elites had decided to extend an invitation to someone they once labeled the class loser, a girl they used to laugh at, ignore, and target for their amusement. Her name was Mia Carter. Back in high school, Mia was the quiet girl with thrift store clothes and secondhand shoes, whose lunchbox always smelled like the meals she reheated for her younger siblings the night before. Her father worked at a failing auto shop, her mother worked double shifts at a diner, and Mia spent her days juggling schoolwork with responsibilities nobody else her age had to carry. And because of all that, people treated her like she didn't belong. Her classmates mocked her messy ponytail, her cracked phone, her worn-out backpack. Some called her Mia the Mess. Others laughed about how she would probably end up working in the same diner her mother did. They pushed her aside in hallways, stole her notes, and rolled their eyes when teachers praised her grades. So when the planners added her to the reunion guest list, it wasn't out of kindness. It was a joke. Someone in the group chat wrote, "Let's see what disaster she became." Another typed, "This will be hilarious." They imagined she would show up in an old, beat-up car, or maybe not come at all. They expected weakness. But people forget one thing. The people they mock might be the ones who rise the highest. The reunion was set in a luxurious venue tucked between the hills of Northern California, where the graduating class had rented a grand event space overlooking the city lights. The room was filled with designer dresses, expensive suits, old rivalries, and fake laughter that echoed like glass about to break. The DJ played 2015 throwback hits. Champagne flowed in tall glasses, and people exaggerated their successes, some stretching the truth just enough to impress. A few minutes before 7, whispers started bouncing around the room. Someone standing near the balcony had looked up and seen a sleek black helicopter cutting through the sky, the blades slicing the air like a scene straight out of a movie. At first, people laughed, assuming it was just flying past, nothing to do with them. But the helicopter lowered, and hovered directly over the field beside the venue. A spotlight from the bottom of the aircraft lit the ground, and a crowd quickly gathered by the windows.
"Who in the world?"
someone murmured. The landing skids touched the grass gently, dust blowing in a perfect cinematic swirl. From inside, a figure stepped out. The pilot opened the door like he was greeting. Royalty. The woman who climbed down looked poised, confident, and breathtaking in a fitted white jumpsuit and long camel-colored coat that floated behind her. Her hair was sleek, her jewelry minimalist but clearly expensive. People pressed closer to the glass, trying to understand who she was. And then someone gasped. "Wait, is that Mia? No way!" Mia Carter walked toward the venue like someone who had forgotten what fear felt like. She no longer had the shy eyes or slouched shoulders that had once made her easy prey. Instead, she carried herself with the calm, unshakable energy of someone who had built herself from nothing and owed no one an explanation. Inside, conversations stopped. Stares followed her. Every person who once mocked her felt a sudden, sharp memory of who they used to be, of how cruel they had once acted. Guilt tasted bitter. Some felt panic, others felt embarrassment. Mia approached the registration table where Ashley, the former prom queen and self-appointed reunion host, stood frozen, her smile stiff like it had been glued on. Mia simply said, "Hi, I'm here to check in." The quiet confidence in her voice made Ashley's cheeks flush. Everyone expected Mia to brag, to show off, to rub her success in their faces, but she didn't. Instead, she moved through the room with the same gentle smile she once had, but now with the strength of someone who no longer cared about anyone's approval. A group finally gathered enough courage to ask her the question burning in their minds. "So, Mia, What are you doing these days? She didn't show off. She didn't exaggerate. She simply answered truthfully and calmly. I run Carter Innovations, she said. We work in tech development, renewable solutions, and city infrastructure design. I started it 7 years ago. We recently opened offices in Seattle, Austin, and New York. I flew in from a meeting today. People's jaws dropped. Someone whispered, She owns Carter Innovations? That's her company? They had all heard of it. It had been featured in Forbes, Business Insider, even on a Netflix documentary about young entrepreneurs reshaping the future. But no one had ever connected the name to the girl they once mocked. The room shifted. The energy changed. Suddenly, everyone wanted to talk to her. The same people who once avoided her now wanted selfies, conversations, validation. But Mia didn't gloat, and she didn't act bitter. She treated everyone kindly, even the ones who didn't deserve it. Her strength wasn't in showing them she had won. It was showing that she had healed. Near the end of the night, Ashley approached her with teary eyes.
Mia, I'm so sorry for how we treated you back then.
Mia looked at her for a long moment. She could have reminded her of every cruel thing she said, every laugh she led, every moment that had broken young Mia's heart. But she simply smiled. It's okay. I'm not that girl anymore. And I hope none of us are the people we used to be, Ashley cried. Others apologized too, not because they had to, but because Mia's presence reminded them of what real success looked like. It wasn't money, it wasn't fame. It was becoming someone who didn't need to hurt others to feel important. As the night ended, people gathered outside again. The helicopter waited under the moonlit sky, the blades slowly turning. Mia waved goodbye as she stepped inside, her figure glowing under the lights. And for the first time, everyone truly saw her. Not the girl they mocked, but the woman who had risen far beyond anything they imagined. When the helicopter lifted into the sky, silence washed over the crowd. Every person there knew one thing. They hadn't invited the class loser tonight. They had invited the most successful person in the room. And the irony was, she was the only one who didn't come to prove anything. She came to forgive. And that was what made her unforgettable.